We begin tonight with breaking news. Safeway workers could go on strike as soon as this weekend. The union that represents them made the announcement within the past hour. They say they just gave Safeway the required 72 hours notice. So that means workers can hit the picket lines as early as Sunday morning. We're keeping a close eye on this breaking news. We'll bring you updates on air and online at 9news.com. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Alexandra Lewis. After a string of targeted thefts, tonight a neighborhood in Longmont is responding with resilience.
9 News reporter Ria Jha joins us now. And Ria, neighbors say someone stole every pride flag they could find over the weekend.
Yeah, and when we were going around the neighborhood, every other type of flag was still up. So you could tell that this was a targeted attack. But instead of backing down, neighbors are now pushing back.
We do have an American flag.
Flags don't just decorate.
We also put up a Packers flag every football season as well, with our allegiances.
At Cheryl Kohler's house, her flags declare.
And when June rolls around, that's when we end up putting the pride flag.
At the Harvest Junction neighborhood in Longmont, that pride came at a cost on Saturday night.
It kind of sounded like a pop, pop, pop. And sounded like someone was either hitting something.
Cheryl realized something was missing from her flagpole.
Yeah, it's normally supposed to be up. Whoever took mine ended up making a sweep of the entire neighborhood.
By morning, every pride flag in the neighborhood was gone.
But the fact that it was targeted because it was a pride flag and, in my mind, an attack on the LGBTQ community, it does classify as a hate crime. Just because you put up a pride flag doesn't mean that you are one of the members of the LGBTQ community.
And I'm about as straight as a flagpole, but it doesn't matter. I really have a dislike for bullies. I really, really can't stand bullies. So that's what this is about to me.
Neighbors like Mike McFerrin weren't going to let someone take away their community's pride.
So we put together a small GoFundMe account that got quickly filled within 6 hours. There's a 3x5 foot flag in there, and so I just put in a large order to get a lot of pride flags in various sizes, and we have dozens of people in this community coming by to hang them up in solidarity.
And to have our neighbors rally behind that and quickly say that we're not going to allow that type of hate in our community, it's a huge comfort.
Giving them a reason to fly their flags.
All right. Hi, Mike.
Hello.
Oh, my goodness.
Even higher.
This is great.
I mean, this is a cheap one, but
That's perfect.
And there was roughly half a dozen taken, and we've got 90 to replace them. So, sorry, love wins this time.
90 new flags, so you can bet that neighborhood is going to be decked out in pride this month. Neighbors are expecting this person to come back, but they say he'll have his work cut out for them this time, and he might just be outnumbered with all the flags. Ria Jha, 9 News.
For the second night in a row, downtown LA is under curfew. It's all because of the unrest in the wake of federal immigration raids and President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops and Marines. The mayor put that curfew in place yesterday after roughly 24 businesses were looted the night before. There were some arrests made last night for people breaking that curfew. The mayor says she'll consider lifting it if there are fewer arrests tonight. Meanwhile, Texas's Republican governor, Greg Abbott, says he has the National Guard on standby as protests unfold there. Hundreds gathered in San Antonio tonight. Things have been largely peaceful. City leaders in Denver are begging for anti-Trump protests to stay calm and peaceful for fear that the president will send the military into the streets here. Hundreds of people gathered outside the state capitol last night to protest ICE and march in solidarity with protesters in LA. When a group of protesters shut down Broadway and moved towards I-25, police used pepper balls to break up the crowd. We know of 18 arrests. Charges include obstructing streets, failing to obey police orders, spraying graffiti, throwing projectiles. 2 people were charged with assault, and police reports at least 1 person was injured after they were hit with a skateboard. The mayor of Denver says any violence here could attract unwanted attention from the federal government.
If folks here are trying to advocate to protect migrants in this city, the worst thing you could do for those folks is to try to attract the president and the federal National Guard to come to your city. That doesn't help any of us.
Last night's protests were organized by several different groups like the Party for Socialism and Liberation, which was active during the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests. This weekend, a national day of protest is being put on by a different group called No Kings. And while some of the same people may be there, the protests are organized by separate groups.
Was another warm day across the metro area, and the heat had people heading to find water wherever they could find it. Sky 9 flew over Water World this afternoon as America's largest water park is truly getting into the summer season. I can't think of a better place to be today because it was so dang hot, Kathy.
And the crowds aren't that bad during the week.
Oh, that's true.
Right. Wait till this weekend. It's going to be packed. Low to mid 90s.
Ooh, nice.
Yay, I'm ready.
Take a dip.
Yeah, it's going to be a weekend of heat, and the summer solstice not until the 20th. We've had a few thunder showers to cool us off, but hoping these clouds move out. Big, bright, full strawberry moon over Colorado tonight. Sunrise, sunset, so pretty, highlighted by the clouds and the color in the sky. Temperatures in the upper 80s again today, cooling back to the 60s and 70s this hour. Tracking some thunderstorms, non-severe, but a couple of them out around the town of Ray did drop hail over an inch in diameter. Those storms are tracking east. And we've had some thunderstorm wind gusts of 50 and 60 miles per hour near Hugo, down toward the Carville area, Kit Carson. Some pretty good rain coming out of these storms this afternoon. We're going to see this again tomorrow. Severe threat is low for Denver, but a brief heavy downpour, some thunder and lightning not out of the question. So quiet overnight tonight, quiet start to the day. Temperatures back close to 90 again, but thunderstorms are in the forecast. We'll have the timing and impact of tomorrow and that round of storms we're expecting ahead of a hot, dry holiday weekend. All of that ahead with your extended forecast.
Two employees at a nursing home are accused of abusing a 92-year-old patient. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office says it happened at the Orchard Park Healthcare Facility in Centennial.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez joins us. And Colton, you've been looking into the details of this investigation.
Yeah, Kim, court documents show a 92-year-old woman's leg was broken, and the facility staff gave conflicting stories that didn't actually explain her injuries. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office says lies led to the arrest of this woman. 33-year-old Patience Jackson worked as a nursing assistant at the Orchard Park Healthcare Facility in Centennial. She's facing multiple criminal charges after her 92-year-old patient broke her leg in 2 places. Investigators say the woman suffers from severe dementia and is considered at risk. This happened back in May. The initial report from the facility said the woman was found sitting in her wheelchair, screaming for help in terrible pain. No one had seen her fall, and they didn't know what happened. Jackson then told investigators it may have happened when they moved the woman from her wheelchair to her bed. Later, investigators say Jackson changed her story. Court documents show she said the woman lowered her hospital bed with a remote and it crushed her leg. The woman was taken to Sky Ridge Medical Center where doctors told investigators neither of those explanations would account for her injuries. Jackson is now in custody. Investigators have also issued an arrest warrant for Zainob Namali, a practical nurse at the facility. The sheriff's office says Jackson and Namali were likely not telling the truth about how the 92-year-old woman was hurt, and they believe both of the women acted to hide what really happened to her. And this investigation isn't over. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office says the director of the nursing facility could also face charges depending on their involvement and exactly what happened. Colton Chavez, 9 News.
New tonight, Castle Rock police are urging you to move over or slow down for emergency vehicles after one of their patrol cars was hit last night. Police say the car had its emergency lights activated when someone struck it from behind on I-25. Thankfully, the officer was not in the car at the time. Police say the other car caught fire, but no one was seriously hurt. A reminder, state law requires you to move over at least 1 lane when passing any stopped vehicle. If you can't safely do that, you must slow down. If you don't, you could get a misdemeanor, and that includes a fine of up to $150.
The landlord of an apartment complex in Aurora that's made national headlines was a no-show in court today. There's now a warrant out for his arrest. The city shut down the Edge at Lowry Apartments near 12th and Dallas back in February. That was following years of reported code violations and public safety concerns. President Trump and conservative media claimed it had been taken over by a Venezuelan gang. The city cited Zev Baumgarten, one of the landlords, for the code violations. He was supposed to face those charges in court today, but he didn't show up. Baumgarten's attorneys have claimed he has nothing to do with his property, despite police reports identifying him as the manager. His attorney also told the court Baumgarten doesn't feel safe returning to Colorado.
MyPillow guy Mike Lindell's defamation trial is starting to wrap up. Lindell is accused of defamation for claiming that Denver-based Dominion Voting Systems and one of its executives rigged the 2020 presidential election. Today, jurors heard from one of America's leading experts on election cybersecurity. Dr. Alex Halderman said voting machines can and do have problems, but when it came to Lindell's supposed evidence of election rigging, Halderman told jurors, quote, "It's fake." Problems keep piling up for Lindell. He was served with another lawsuit outside court today over claims by FedEx that he didn't pay $9 million in MyPillow shipping and late fees.
Voters in Douglas County are turning in ballots for a special election. It asks them to approve a home rule charter commission, the first step in becoming a home rule county. There are 4 of those in Colorado right now. It's Pitkin, Weld, Denver, and Broomfield counties. As a home rule county, they can have fewer elected officials and more appointed positions. They can be exempt from following state laws, but only ones that specifically allow exemptions for home rule counties. But they cannot be less restrictive than what state law spells out.
You determine the internal structure and functions. You can't necessarily go against state law.
Special election is set for June 24th. That's a little less than 2 weeks away.
Some people in northern Colorado are raising concerns about an incoming water source. The Chimney Hollow Reservoir is being built near Berthoud. Water testing revealed the presence of uranium in the rock layers used in the dam's construction. It was first detected in 2023, but it took nearly a year to trace its source. Northern Water will fill the reservoir with water in August, but they say they don't plan to use it for drinking water until at least 2027.
2025, as we start to fill, it's giving us the opportunity to look at options.
The reservoir is expected to be one of the largest in the state and could eventually supply water for hundreds of thousands of Coloradans.